There can be only one.
Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as the Funky Chicken. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. It is hump day, and I hope everybody is humping, getting over the hump, or doing whatever you do to make it through the middle of the week. The weekend is not far away as we enter week number 2 without NFL football, and that means we're getting closer and closer. I need to check this clock because technically it was set to the beginning of the NFL season, which would have been last year. And so I think it may have rolled it over or it might have reread it. But we're 190 days, 198 days until next season. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done between now and then. And so it's funny because every day right now, we're hearing about trade Micah. Trade Micah.
Oh, shit.
So there's an article here on Bleacher Report. I can't seem to get Bleacher Report to work on my cell phone unless I restart my cell phone. And it's just been, for me, maybe it's, I've reloaded the app. I've done all kinds of stuff. It just does not work for me. And I don't like the way they've reset the site at all. It was just perfect the way it was. They messed it up. And they did the same thing with the Weather Channel. Freaking Weather Channel. I can't figure it. Old people don't like change. So this article was the one trade every team, the dream trade that every team needs to do. And I'm just going to skip all the other teams, just go to the Dallas Cowboys. Dream trade for the Dallas Cowboys. Trade edge rusher Micah Parsons for the right price. An extension for edge rusher Micah Parsons is one of the biggest items on the Dallas Cowboys offseason to-do list. Now, we've heard, I'm going through this article, reacting to it, and giving you the updates. Apparently, Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones have had some talks. We won't say negotiations, but, you know, the way Micah Parsons is kind of kissed up to Jerry Jones and saying, you know, he's a great GM, he takes care of his guys, and so on. You would think that there wasn't any animosity in those conversations. So it seems like Micah Parsons isn't upset thus far. So let's go with that scenario that the Cowboys would rather sign him. The question is when. But the 25-year-old has told Patrick Walker, the official website, he also wants to see Dallas be aggressive in free agency. And so, you know, some people don't like to be told what they need to do. So that could be a riff in there. It's like, Micah, we got this. You worry about getting to the quarterback. We'll worry about building a team. That could potentially be there. And for all of us fans, we should all be standing behind Micah Parsons and chanting and cheering him on about the same thing. I want to see us be aggressive, and I want to see us get players that are going to help us. That are going to come in and make an impact. I want to see us bring back our own that are just as important, and let's see what we can do there. There have been a new wave in the NFL. You saw it with the Rams. Even though they drafted some of those guys, you always can't hit like that. You know what I mean? The 49ers went out, got Giovanni and Hargrave. Well, they also went out and got, running back, Christian McCaffrey, you know, as well as others. And they went out and got some impeccable players on their side. The problem for the Cowboys are annually they're against the cap, and 25 is no difference. Dallas is upside down over $4 million as things stand. Now, that does sound bad, but we haven't done the rollover yet. So we'll roll over about $18, $19 million. So we'll be on the plus side, before the season starts, which is groundbreaking. The Cowboys last year started out 25 in the red. think the year before it was like 26 or 27. A couple years ago it was 32, in which case the Cowboys have always had to restructure some guys before the seasoning opening just to get down to 0 or release some guys. Cowboys don't have to do any of that. And the other part of this equation as they're going through here and they're saying, you don't have any money, this $4 million under also includes $24 million for the 5th-year option for Micah Parsons. So if Micah Parsons gets his deal, that first-year number will probably drop down to about 12, maybe as low as 10, giving you more cap space. They don't talk about this here in the dream trade. There's another potential course of action, trading the 4-time Pro Bowler and 3-time All-Pro. If Parsons becomes available, he would immediately become a wildly coveted asset. He might not have the track record or accolades of Myles Garrett, but he's just entering the prime of his career and has had 12 sacks in all 4 of his professional seasons. It would take a massive haul to make trading Micah Parsons worthwhile. Multiple first-rounders or a package of picks and players who can help the Cowboys win now. But if Dallas re-ups Parsons at well over $30 million per year, a large portion of the team's cap will be tied up in a few handfuls of players. That's going to make it much more difficult to build a playoff caliber team around them. This is true that he is saying it will make it more difficult. However, there are ways of keeping players. For example, let's say hypothetically, are you better off paying $18 million to Terrence Steele or letting Terrence Steele go and keep Micah Parsons? I know we got $24 million right now. We can drop that down to 12. And if we really and truly look at it and say we want to keep him, we can use voidable years and really stretch it out. Because a player of his caliber, I know it sounds great when you say draft picks. If we traded him and we bring in another Tyler Guyton and Mozzie Smith with those draft picks, how are you feeling about that? How are you feeling about that? Not every first-round pick is automatically going to be great. And as they put it, 12 sacks a season to start a career? 2 people ever. Micah and Reggie White. Now, this is NFL. Silly season. We want headlines. And I want to go to the tape here because we always hear about craziness going on. Let's go to the tape.
What the Jets are doing. The Jets have a young quarterback they drafted very high who has shown himself to be nowhere near ready to play. And they think they have a championship caliber roster. So what do? They go out and they get themselves an aging veteran who might be able to give them 1 or 2 years and a shot at a Super Bowl and maybe mentor the young kid towards being able to play. So what is Jerry Jones perhaps thinking? How about thinking about a Super Bowl winning veteran quarterback who might want to finish his career in his hometown of Dallas, Texas, and mentor a young player in a year or 2 to being ready to take over the reins? That young player could be Trey Lance. And I'm here to tell you right now, Orlovsky, your buddy Matthew Stafford, I could easily see a world in which a year from today, Dak Prescott is way better off being the quarterback of Tampa or Minnesota or Denver or someplace where they really want him. And your buddy Matthew Stafford is the starting quarterback of his hometown Dallas Cowboys. What do you think of that?
Greeny, it's August 30th.
Yes. Yes. Talk to me.
You're one of a kind, man. You are one of a kind. You are a
I don't hear
special,
anything,
special
I don't
person.
Hear anything else here.
His wife is talking about how he doesn't get along with the young players. Don't even know what he's talking. His wife is on podcasts getting him out of L.A.
Yeah, I think it's August 30th. We got a long way to go till we get to that point. Long way to go till we get to that point. Yeah. Matthew's a better player. We'll see how healthy he is this year. To my knowledge, he feels really good and is throwing it really well. But it's August 30th. We got to see a long way to go till we get to that point, Greeny.
I understand. I don't mind you not wanting.
Yeah. So that was 2 years ago. We were talking about trading Matthew Stafford to play for the Cowboys and mentor Trey Lance. And he was using the Jets as an example. This is silly season, people. This is silly season. This is where we come up, as they put it in the article, dream trades. They're just dreaming shit up and throwing it against the wall. Micah Parsons isn't going anywhere. Dak Prescott isn't going anywhere, okay? And more than likely, the Joneses don't give a rat's ass about appeasing you or anybody else because they can. They can. They can do whatever they want to do. If nobody even shows up, they're still going to make money. That's unfortunately the way the system works. And they don't give up any things about you. They don't. They just don't. So, as I will say, this is fun for conversations. They keep us all in business because we have to go ahead and talk about these crazy scenarios. And sometimes people believe when they hear something like that, oh, I hear the Cowboys are interested. No, the Cowboys ain't said shit. It's somebody out there that's come up and said, hey, here you go. And then it's asked to the player about the idea, and then it is butchered up so they can try and turn it around and sound like they want it to happen. Micah Parsons is towing the Cowboys line. He's talking about what he'd like to see done. He's praising Jerry Jones, and he's talking to them. None of that's changed. And today is the 19th. We've got 9 days left to this month, and then 10 more days, 19 days away from legal tampering in the NFL, in which case everybody's a free agent who's not signed or franchise tag. And the Cowboys would want to get their shit together and keep their players, get Micah Parsons signed to get some more cap space and fill in some of these holes. Next week is the big week. And I will say it's the biggest week of the offseason because everybody goes to Indianapolis for combines. That's the players, future players, the agents, the owners, the front office people. A lot of work happens and discussions right then and there. This is your opportunity to make a sales job to some of the agents for some of these players. This is your opportunity to talk to other teams about potential trades. And if you don't think that winning a Super Bowl and a championship starts right now, then you just don't know anything about football. So as we go through here, the question is Micah Parsons the guy for Matt Everfuss?
Most approved, you think?
I'm going to say Jordan Love from the Green Bay Packers. Look, we know that during the regular season, since he's become a starter, the guy can light it up with the very best of them. It's just about whether or not he can raise his game in the postseason. The past two postseasons, 5 interceptions, 2 fumbles. He hasn't been the big-time performer that they need him to be on a roster right now that is loading up. This is going to be a team in the toughest division in all of football, I believe, in the NFC North, that can make some headway, but it's going to be dependent upon Jordan Love's ability to raise his game once they get to the playoffs.
Harry, you know the Bengals have got some big questions to make, so is 2025 a make-or-break year for Joe Burrow?
Not unless Joe Burrow decides he's going to retire after this season. So when it comes to Joe Burrow, we're talking about a guy that was first in passing yards and touchdowns, third in QBR and QB rating, and fourth in completion percentage. Now, what does happen is the antennas go up a little bit more after missing the playoffs the last 2 seasons.
Okay, Kmart, I want you to answer this one very carefully. Has the Cowboys Super Bowl window officially closed?
Was it
I want you to
open?
hear me very carefully, Brian. When was it ever open?
Ooh. Hello.
No. In all seriousness, this iteration of the Cowboys, yes, it's closed. Because I say that because of how Jerry Jones conducts business. If he continues to overinflate what he has on his roster, not be aggressive in free agency, not pay guys when they want to be paid, I think, I don't see them getting to the Super Bowl.
And maybe I'm crazy, but wasn't it just a year ago the Cowboys won the division?
And then what has happened
And
since?
Dak Prescott was the best quarterback in the division?
How quickly things change.
You know, I need Brian to just host the show and take off the cowboy hat a little bit. That's what I need. If we're going to talk football for real today.
Brian, just do your job.
Do your job. Do your job.
Just Bill Belichick.
So I'm saying if Dak Prescott comes healthy, we know that the division leader always changes every year in the NFC.
I know, but see now you're just kind of falling back on statistical measures that really don't have any nuance to them. Okay, the fact of the matter is, okay, Dak Prescott's coming back healthy, right? All right. That's one person.
Yes.
That's one person.
Now, I want you to look at Washington's roster and what it's going to project to be in 2025. I want you to look at Philadelphia's roster and what it's going to project to be in 2025. And you tell me where you fall on the hope meter.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Right. No, it really is. Look, this is a great question. And look, it all starts at the top. You know this. You know that Jerry Jones is the one. Look, he says, and I'm paraphrasing, but he has said this, that he bought this football team so he can be the boss of it.
And
so
he can run it himself.
Run it the way he wants. And he has made tactical mistakes as far as if you want to compare him to, let's just say Philadelphia, who right now, everyone from Joe Burrow to every fan base out there is trying to compare their football team to how Philadelphia runs theirs because they think that's the model. Okay, so Hembo, the great Hembo, sends the best stats every morning. From a cash standpoint, Philly has outspent Dallas by $78 million in cash the last 3 seasons.
Let me just dab your head a little bit, because that's a lot. That's a lot of. We're not
talking
facts.
salary cap dollars. We're talking real cash out of Jeffrey Lurie's pocket into the hands of the players, as opposed to Jerry Jones, who has this cash cow in the Dallas Cowboys, right? They print money, right? Most valuable franchise in the world, or one of, right? $78 million over the past 3 seasons. Philadelphia has outspent. That doesn't mean go out and spend like drunken sailors and be irresponsible. You have to have the front office in place to make wise decisions. The coaching staff, who doesn't get enough credit in Philadelphia for developing and utilizing the players. So it's all, along a continuum. And Dallas is failing in every measure.
And it's also signing guys when they should be
signed
instead of waiting at the last minute. So help me out, though.
Is the great word.
What is the Cowboys' biggest need when you look at this team?
I think overall, collectively, when you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys, the inability to stop the run is demoralizing for this football team. As an offensive player, when we play, one of the things that can demean a defense is when you run the football and you can run it at will when you want to. And what's demoralizing for the opposing team is when they know they can't stop it and they know you're going to do it. So I'm going to have Cindy pull up A46 for me really quick. A46, please. Pull up A46 for me. Because I want y'all to see these are the last 5 Super Bowl winners. And when you look at their defense and the ability to stop the run, look at where they rank and look at where the Dallas Cowboys rank.
Graphic.
So when it comes to being Super Bowl contenders, you can't be a Super Bowl contender in my eyes if you have the inability to stop the run game. And the one team on there that wasn't in the top 10 was the Kansas City Chiefs, I think, in 2023. Well, guess what? Since 2019, they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in the game.
Right.
So this is all over the social media, and I want to get your perspective on this. Everyone is saying Cowboys should trade Micah Parsons and get assets, get like 3 number ones, get a player, and rebuild this thing.
Good luck.
Your thoughts on that?
What? The graphic, Cindy's graphic, perfectly illustrates.
A46.
Cindy, can you pull up A46 again? Listen, Mike Greenberg would be proud of me today.
Harry wants to be Greeny so bad.
This graphic tells you why you don't give up your top defensive player, because defense does win championships. And I think I understand why fans are like, we have so many holes, we need to get as much as we can from Micah. Some people even point out, oh, Michael's off the field, all his talking, they need to reset what the culture is and all that. No. Because if the Cowboys were winning, Micah doing the podcast wouldn't be an issue. You need to get better players. You need to get other Micahs. You need to get other dogs who understand, like, on defense, you don't run against us. You don't come in our house and beat us on our home turf. And that's the problem with the Cowboys. Getting rid of him doesn't help you.
You know, it's interesting. You bring up a great point. I'm glad you said that. When you say fans say we have so many holes, we need more draft assets or draft capital in order to fill these holes. Why do you think you have holes? Because the people that you were picking in these prominent positions that you now have holes in made the wrong choices.
Yep.
So really, it's not about how many assets you have in order to go ahead and try and build up this football team. It's about maybe your player procurement process. It's about where you're divvying up these assets, where you're utilizing them, which, again, in Philadelphia, it's not just about cash spent. It's how they spend it and who they spend it on. That's the problem. It's the tactical decisions,
You're right about
and
this.
you're not making those.
We're just getting started with this topic. We're going to talk so much more about this and a whole lot more. But coming up, we're going to...
There you go. So that is the conundrum. Let's be clear here. Micah Parsons is going nowhere. He's not going anywhere. It's great to talk about, especially now that football season is over, but he's not going anywhere. And we have, of course, rumors of Matthew Stafford going to the Jets, I think. I think it was to the Jets or to the Giants. If I'm Matthew Stafford, I'd be scared shitless. To leave the Rams and Sean McVay to go to the Jets or the Giants would be thanks but no thanks. All right, you good people. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys and hope you all have a great, great day. Peace out.